Hey everyone, welcome to Mr. Potter's test review. This is going to be for the government test. So I had to get a drink. So I'm going to be reviewing the government unit that we are going over right now. So I don't expect everyone to need this whole review. So there are going to be timestamps to the video. So if you're just confused about federalism, you're confused about popular sovereignty, feel free to go to that part of the video. So, starting off, what is government? Government is the body of a nation, state, or community in charge. Who is the person running the laws? Who's the one telling people what they need to do? Who are you paying taxes to? That is the government, okay? It's really simple. Now, we have two types of government that we talk about. Limited, unlimited. Limited is what we have. The government is limited in the power that the people give it. They cannot do anything that we did not give them the power to do. Now, unlimited government is a form of government where there is no limit to the power. The government can do whatever they want. They want to force everybody to wear khaki pants. They can force everyone to wear khaki pants. Force everyone to wear bell bottoms. Everybody has to wear bell bottoms. So, again, limited, good. Unlimited, bad. You don't want the government to have all the power. Our limited government here in the United States is done by the Constitution, okay? Constitutions are the rule books of government. Constitutions tell the government what they can and cannot do. So, if the government wants unlimited power, they can't because the rule book they have in place doesn't allow them to. There's ways to stop them from getting unlimited power. So remember, Constitution is a rule book. How should you run the government? So, we talked about the 7 principles of government, and I know you're looking at me, you're laughing because we want you to know all 7 principles, okay? Now, I'll go over some of them here. I'll do a quick review here, and then I'll go in depth on all of them, okay? Don't feel that you have to know all of them in and out. We have tricks to help you remember each of them, okay? So, just a real quick rundown. Popular sovereignty, power to the people, limited government. Of course, we talked about that. Republicanism, we elect people. Federalism, splitting up powers. Separation of powers, different branches in the federal government, checks and balances. Each branch has power to check the other one. And individual rights that we all have. Or we might say freedoms, like freedom of speech, freedom of religion. So let's go through them. So, popular sovereignty. People, not people to the power, people have the power, okay? When you think popular, you think people. How is something popular? Because people like it. How do people get elected? More people vote for them, okay? Voting is popular sovereignty. We're voting to give the government power, okay? We're saying we had our election in 2020. The people voted for the candidate they wanted, and the one that had the most votes won. It was popular sovereignty, the power of the people to choose who governs them, okay? Popular, people, power, okay? PPP, popular, people, power. People, power, popular. However you want to remember it. Think of popular, people. People are popular, okay? And it goes with voting, okay? Voting is what you do to show that. To show your popular sovereignty, you vote. Republicanism. So, we are electing people to talk for us. We don't want to have to vote on everything. We don't want to have to vote on all 100 laws that they're trying to pass every year, okay? We are going to elect someone to do it for us. Well, we elected a congressman. He goes to the House of Representatives and he votes on our behalf. If there's a law, he wants to make sure it's going to help us here where I live in Cyprus, okay? So we are electing people to represent us in government. They are our voice. They will speak for us. Federalism. This is where we split the power of the national or federal government, the United States, and the state government, like Texas, okay? So, an example. The federal government has the military, okay? They have the army. Here, the federal government, they have... Oh, it's not white anymore. Oh, there we go. It has the army, okay? The state has school. Each of those are a power that they have, okay? And like one example is they both can tax. They both can tax, but they're splitting powers, okay? The way I like to remember federalism is anytime you see the word federal, it's got to be federalism. If they say, well, the federal government can, it's going to be federalism. Use the words to your advantage. On that note, hold on. In Republicanism, this is how we ask you guys to remember it, okay? Republicanism, representative. Oh, hold on. That was a bad line. Representative. Rep. R-E-P. We want you to try to connect these words together, okay? Representative, Republican. So on that test, I see republicanism, I see representatives. I know they're matching, okay? Okay, let's go back. Okay, checks and balances. Some kids get this, some don't. Here's my number one thing. If this has nothing to do with money. I know it says checks and balances, but nothing to do with money. What this is this is the branch's power. So we're talking the legislative, the judicial, and the executive's power to check each other. They each have the ability to check each other. An example we like to talk about is the veto. The legislative branch, so here, the legislative branch is going to send a law to the executive branch, to the president. The president does not like that law. Okay, frowny face. He's going to send it back with a veto. Okay, or you might say, he's gonna say no. And that's one example of checks and balances, okay? So, if I see two branches in a question, every time, it's going to be checks and balances. If I see executive, legislative, checks and balances. I see judicial, legislative, checks and balances. Judicial, executive, checks and balances. Anytime you see two, if you see three, it's probably separation of powers. You don't have to. If it's three, you need to look at the question. But if it's only two, it's going to be checks and balances, okay? Individual rights. These are rights, okay? They are freedoms given to us in the Bill of Rights. I don't know how easier to make this for you guys. If I see individual rights, Bill of Rights, see again, the words connect. We got to try to get these words to connect, okay? Individual rights, Bill of Rights, freedom of speech, religion, the first 10 amendments, which is also the Bill of Rights, okay? Okay, excuse me. So, you got to think about you got to think about the words, okay? Individual rights, Bill of Rights, freedoms, rights. Same thing. Rights equal freedom. Freedoms. Forgive my awful handwriting on a mouse. Okay. Next thing I want to go over, in case you don't know. Levels of government. A lot of kids get these mixed up. Levels. If you are on a 3-story building, there are 3 different floors. That's how you need to think of levels of government. There's the federal government, USA, okay? State, Texas. Local, Cyprus, okay? Think levels like an elevator. Level 1, level 2, and level 3. You gotta... Levels are going up and down. They're separate from each other. Levels are separate. On the other hand, we have branches of government. Branches are like... Branches come from a single twig. They all are part of the government, but they branch off, okay? Don't get confused with levels. They come from the same stick. Branches come from the same stick, okay? Now, what branches do we have? Executive, legislative, judicial. So, legislative, they enforce the laws. They carry out the laws. Again, use my tip. E, enforce, executive. The legislative, they make the laws. Okay? Congress, the Senate, L for laws. Legislative, laws. L for laws. Judicial, they interpret or judge the laws to see if they're constitutional. J for judge. Okay? That's my tip. If you see, well, they're making laws, legislative, because I know it starts with an L. Interpret is the same as judge. Okay? Oh, the judging, I know that has to be judicial because it starts with the J. Oh, I missed a G. Executive, enforcing. Oh, I know that's executive because it starts with an E. So, branches, same branch. Levels, it's like a building. 1 story, 2 story, 3 story, okay? All the different levels. Federal, state, local. Same building, different floors. Executive branch. We have the governor and the governor for the state, president for nation. They enforce the law. If a law says no one is allowed to eat Swedish fish, the president will make sure that police and the army make sure that no one's eating Swedish fish. They approve the bills. After the legislative branch makes a law, it's passed to the president and he'll sign it. But he might say veto. Saying no, vetoing. Vetoing is just saying no to a law. Okay? Legislative. This is the House of Representatives and the Senate. They are bicameral. 2 houses. Bicycle. Bicycle has 2 wheels. Bicameral has 2 houses. So if it asks, what does bicameral mean? Bi means 2. Think bicycle. You just gotta think bicycle. They write the laws, okay? Every law that we have is written by the legislative branch. For checks and balances, thinking checks and balances, they can impeach the president. That means they can try him for a crime. They're saying, hey man, I saw you steal a Kit Kat from H-E-B, we're going to impeach you for stealing, okay? Checks and balances. The judicial, they interpret the laws. So if the legislative branch passes a law that says we're going to remove the freedom of speech, the judicial branch is going to say, no, that is unconstitutional and no one has to follow that law. Okay? That law is bad. So they interpret the laws. J for judge. Okay. Last thing. Take a deep breath. I know I went fast, but you guys got this. We taught you what you need to know. We're not going to put anything on that test tomorrow that you guys have not learned about. So, if you're still struggling, maybe look back at this video. When you come in the morning, if you have me, ask me. Ask your teacher. Ask Mr. Atkins, Miss Swayze, Mr. Cross. Ask us before the test, okay? We will gladly answer any questions you have. Thank you guys for watching this video. You guys are going to do great on the test, and I will see you guys tomorrow.